Chris Sutton has gave his thoughts on the title race. Welcome back to Fog Football, and as you guessed it, there's not much of a title race because Chris Sutton has said, in layman's terms, that Celtic are uncatchables, if not invincibles. And here is why I can't call this a Rangers comeback. That's the headline of the article. But let's dive into what Chris Sutton said and break down his wee comments. And I quote: Celtic fans are starting to draw comparisons from this current side to the Invincibles a few years ago. I think it's too early for that kind of talk. There are too many hurdles still to be negotiated right now. It's too soon to call the class of 2024 Invincibles, but wins like the other night at Pataudry means they are starting to look like the Uncatchables. It was a huge win against a strong Aberdeen team in horrendous conditions. These are the kind of victories that win titles. They weren't quite at their best, but they were never going to be in such difficult circumstances. Howling wind and freezing rain. End of quote. Right. I mean, the Celtic team a couple of years ago when they went invincible was great, but I mean, I would be shocked if this Celtic team wouldn't be considered better at the end of this season. Simply just down to, I think, just the Champions League. The Champions League is going to massively add to it because they're going to go through. Obviously, Zagreb is just around the corner, but as Sutton says, it's too early to call them invincible. You're in December, right? It's the invincible talk. That works when you get to like the last, few games, like 8 games or something. We've got more than half the games to play here. A lot can happen. Injuries can happen. You can put one focus onto one game and it can bite you in the arse. A decision can go your way. We all know about the conspiracies. We all know that Celtic get nothing. So they might, even though they always get nothing, they might get shafted. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Um, but this is what Sutton went to say about Celtic. To be 9 points clear of Aberdeen and 11 ahead of Rangers at this stage is massive. There is a long way to go, but it's hard to see how they can be stopped. The great thing for Brendan Rodgers is his entire squad is playing the part. End of quote. They are, and that's exactly what Rodgers wanted. It's exactly what Rodgers wanted. He wanted a squad capable of being able to bring players off the bench and not weaken the team significantly. I think he's one. I think he's definitely closer to doing that. Definitely. Now, in terms of Rangers, that's them back now, isn't it? Well, not quite. The wins against Nice and Johnson, sticking six by Kelly, will have eased some of the pressure on Philip Clement, but it could be right back on him in the next week with Ange Postecoglou's Spurs in the Premier League or the Premier Sports Cup final against Celtic on the horizon. There won't be many fans caring about hitting half a dozen against Kelly if he loses to Rodgers yet again. The recent upturn results at Ibrox will have boosted their confidence though, and it does seem like Clement has stumbled on a lineup and a way to play in the last week or so. The real acid test is on the way though. And if Celtic can stick the first leg of the treble on the sideboard, then supporters can maybe start talking about the prospects of Invincibles number 2. End of quote there from Chris Sutton. And as for Rangers, here, looks like Clement has found some form of team, but Sutton's right. Beating Kelly 6-0, it doesn't really matter unless you actually build on it. And I can just imagine, I can just picture the excuses for Philip Clement, man, after Sunday. There's going to be finances, which I just hate. We're the ones that created that, not some, magical power. The other excuse, we played on Thursday, they played on Tuesday. Then you rest your team against Tottenham. It's as simple as that, right? And then the other excuse, right, is going to be, oh, but we're building towards something. We beat Kelly 6-0 last 10 days ago. Oh, sick of it. Sick of the excuses. I want people just to take responsibility and lay the smack down. Is it too much to ask? Is it too much to ask for Rangers to do it? Are Celtic uncatchable this season? Yeah. Will they go invincible? I don't think so, but I mean, there's a good chance of it because if Rangers can't beat them, then their chances of going invincible drastically go up because Rangers are the second best team. So it is what it is, and come on, it's got to find a way to beat Celtic. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but that League Cup, That's what Rangers have to be aiming for.